All right, what do we have here? Well, we have another one where we have parentheses and fractions. So first off, we need to go ahead and distribute. So when we distribute 3 halves times 7 thirds, that's going to give us 21 over 6 n plus 3 halves equals 3 halves. Okay. Now what do we have? Well, if we do it the first way, remember the first way we have to solve just with fractions. So I'm going to subtract 3 halves here on both sides. So 21 over 6n equals, well, 3 halves minus 3 halves is 0. Well, now I need to get rid of this, so I need to multiply by the reciprocal, 6 over 21. So n equals 0 times that. Well, guess what? That's just 0. Okay. Well, now we have to check it. So we'll do it below here since we have room. So we'll take 3 halves times 7 over 3 times 0 plus 1 equals 3 halves. Well, this is just 0 because anything times 0 is 0. So then we have 1 times 3 halves. Well, 1 times 3 halves is 3 halves. And so 3 halves equals 3 halves. So that is correct. Now, if we do this the other way, we start with the same thing after we've distributed 21 over 6 times n plus 3 halves equals 3 halves. Now we have to multiply by the LCD. Well, 6 is 2 times 3. That's a 2, that's a 2. So it looks like our LCD has to be 6. So now I'm going to distribute 6 throughout here. So when I do that, I get 21n plus, now 2 goes in here 3 times 3 is 9. And so that equals 9 as well. Subtract my 9. 21n equals 0. Divide by 21. And n equals 0 once again. So either way I do it, I still get my 0. And it's just a matter of, do I work with fractions or do I work with whole numbers? And this case, again, wasn't too hard either way. So, it really doesn't matter. All right, so this one says we want to clear the fractions first. So before we can clear fractions, we have to get rid of parentheses. So let's do that first. So 1/3 times -7/4 is a -7 over 12. Then 1/3 times 1 is 1/3 minus 10 thirds k equals -13 eighths. And I forgot the k here. Okay. Now they said clear. So let's clear before we do any combining anything else. Okay. So we have a 12, we have a 3, and we have an 8. So the LCD is going to be what? Well, this is 2 times 2 times 3. This is just 3, this is 3, and this is 2 times 2 times 2. So we're going to use 3 2s and 1 3. So 8 times 3, that's going to be our LCD. So 24. Now we distribute that throughout. Now when we take 24 times this first one, the 12 goes into 24 twice. So we have 2 times a -7, so that's a -14k. 3 goes into 24 8 times 1 is 8, so we have 8. Again, we have 8 when we take out the 3 times a -10, so that's going to be a -80k. And now 8 goes into 24 3 times a -13, that's going to be a -39. Okay. Now what? Well, now we have like terms we can add together, and we can also subtract 8 from both sides. So we have a -80, -94k, and that equals, and here we have a -16, 17, 47. Okay, now we divide by -94. And so if we want to go ahead and do some nice canceling, that becomes positive, those are gone. That becomes positive. Well, one of those goes into two of those, and we get k equals 1/2. Now we have to check it. So what do? We go back 1/3 times -7 over 4. And if we want, we can always write check so we know what we're doing here. And that's times 1/2 plus 1, and then parenthesis, and then minus 10 over 3 times 1/2. And that's equal to -13 over 8. All right, so let's simplify. First things first, we have to do what's inside of the parentheses, and we can also do the product here. So we have 1/3 times, now it's going to be a negative 7/8 plus 1, and then minus, and that's going to be, well, now here we could reduce some because that'll make things a little easier. 2, let's go ahead and do that before we forget. 2 will go in here once, 2 will go in here 5 times. So negative 5/3 times basically 1/1, so that's going to be minus 5/3, and that equals a negative 13/8. Now here we have 1 minus 7/8. Well, guess what? That's just 1/8. So we have 1/3 times 1/8 minus 5/3 equals negative 13/8. So now what we could do is we could get everything and get a common denominator, or we could do what we did over here, multiply by that thing to get rid of all the fractions. And again, we have 3's and 8's, so again, our number here is going to be 24. Now, we probably should multiply those together first. So 24 times 1/24 minus 5/3 equals negative 13/8. So now when we distribute, we don't have, multiple things to multiply there. So 24 cancels. We have 1 minus. Here we have 3 goes in there, 8 times 5 is 40. And that's over, that's just minus 40. And then we have, it goes in there, 3 times that's going to be equal to negative 39. Well, 40 minus 1 is 39. Take the sign of the larger, it's minus 39. And so that checks out. And so then k equals 1/2 is our solution. All right, so we'll stop there.